Hey everyone, welcome into today's webinar. Excited to be talking about back pay and interim payments. These are two very significant things that you need to be aware of when applying for federal disability retirement. So thankful to have you here to hear more about those today. My name's Nick Child. I'm the Director of Client Experience here at Harris Federal Law Firm. I'm here with Ashley Withers, who is our Client Education Consultant here at Harris Federal. Very thankful to have her here to walk you through this. I've also got Anna Barnes here, who is our Director of Organizational Development. Anna is also a certified federal retirement consultant, and I really think that Anna is one of the foremost experts on federal disability retirement in the whole country. She does all of our training here for all of our team members at Harris Federal. So she's a great resource and asset to hear from today, and very glad that she'll be able to walk you through all this information. Before we get started, I want to point your attention to the chat box in the bottom right corner. There you can ask questions about your federal benefits, specifically back pay and interim payments today. We've got team members here live ready to answer your questions, and we'll get to those as quickly as we can as we go through. But ask some questions there. If it gets too specific, please, like I said, give our office a call, and we'd be happy to talk to you and walk you through your specific situation. So with all that being said, excited to get started. Ashley, Anna, thanks for being here. Let's get going.
Thank you so much, Nick. Thank you for hosting us today. I'm Ashley Withers. I am a client education consultant, and today I'm going to be talking with Anna Barnes. She's the Director of Organizational Development here. Hey, Anna.
Hi, Ashley. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here today.
Yeah, of course. Today we're going to be talking about back pay and interim payments in regard to federal disability retirement. Today in this webinar with disability retirement, we're going to be talking about where this benefit comes from, how much money it pays out to those who are approved. We're going to go over some of the benefit highlights, interim payments, back pay, overpayments, and we'll get a little bit into financial planning. So, Anna, can you just give us an overview of what federal disability retirement is?
Sure, and I'm going to start with who this benefit helps. It's specifically designed for federal employees who are struggling to do their job because of an illness or injury. So this is for a federal employee who has a medical condition that's expected to persist for more than 1 year, and that prevents them performing the essential duties of their position.
So when federal employees are applying for disability retirement, what is the government entity that this is through?
So the Office of Personnel Management is the agency that will adjudicate their disability retirement claim as well as pay out the benefits. So this is a benefit that's already built into the retirement system. You pay for it as a FERS employee. It comes out of your paycheck each week. You pay into FERS. And so then you have these benefits available to you outside of just a regular retirement benefit.
Okay, thanks, Anna. So let's kind of break down the highlights of this benefit. We're going to start with monthly annuity. Can you give us just kind of a picture of what this benefit looks like in regard to income?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first year that you're on disability retirement, you're going to receive 60% of your high 3 salary. And then each year after that, until you turn 62, you'll receive 40% of your high 3 salary. And it's important to note that this is taxable income, so it is subject to federal income tax and state income tax depending on your state. And then you'll also have a choice to keep your life insurance benefits, your health insurance benefits, and you can also make an election for a surviving spouse.
Right. And this high 3 average salary, this is not just their yearly salary. So can you explain what the high 3 average, what that is?
Yeah. So the high 3 average is going to be an average of your highest 36 consecutive months of basic pay. And this will be calculated by OPM at the time of approval.
And on this next slide, we have just a good visual representation of what this benefit looks like over the next several years after approval. Anna, can you talk a little bit about how long this benefit lasts for federal employees?
Yeah, so if you've been in our webinars before, you'll probably have heard this term, a bridge to 62.
Right.
We like to call it that because the disability retirement annuity will pay you until you turn 62. at which point it's going to recalculate into a regular retirement annuity as if you had continued working for the federal government the entire time.
Right. And there is another pro to the federal disability retirement benefit, which is that you are still able to continue working while receiving this. So can you give us kind of the parameters of working while on disability retirement?
Yeah, sure. So when you're on disability retirement, it's considered to be an occupational disability, not a total disability. So you are able to go out and work in the private sector. And we've seen people to go on, become teachers, realtors, start their own business. So there are a lot of different options out there. The limit on what you can make in the private sector is going to be 80% of what your previous position is currently paying.
And again, on this next slide, we have just another visual representation of what income can look like when you are receiving disability retirement annuities as well as working in the private sector.
And it's really interesting because you can see that you have the potential here to actually make more money than you were just working in your federal position.
And another thing that we want to talk about for disability retirement annuitants is the creditable years of service. Anna, can you give us some information on this as well?
Yeah, so like I said, when your benefit recalculates at age 62, it's going to include all of the years you spent receiving disability retirement because those years count as creditable years of service. So those get added to any pre-existing creditable years of service you had before going on the benefit.
Right. And this is for when annuitants are calculating their regular retirement, correct?
That's correct. So they'll use the regular retirement calculation, and they'll just include all of their creditable years of service, the ones they actually worked, plus the ones they got for being on disability retirement.
Right. So looking at this kind of graph timeline here, an example of that is if a federal employee went out on disability retirement at the age of 40 and they had been working for 10 years, by the time they turn 62, they will have accrued 32 years of federal service.
That's right. So they'll get that additional 22 years of creditable service while they're on disability retirement. And this is going to dramatically change their retirement calculation because instead of receiving 1% for each year of creditable service, they're now eligible to receive 1.1% calculation on their creditable service.
Yeah, Anna, that can be so important for so many federal employees. That percentage can make such a big difference when they are planning what they'll receive over the years in their regular retirement. In addition to the income that federal employees can receive on disability retirement, there's also an option to maintain health and life insurance. Anna, can you talk about what that looks like with the benefit and the benefits that they may have already been carrying as an employee?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you carried health and life insurance as a federal employee and you're approved for disability retirement, you can continue those benefits in retirement. The health insurance premiums that your agency was paying will move to OPM, and then
Right.
you'll continue paying the same premiums that you have been paying. And then your life insurance premiums will stay the same, but those do tend to go up as you get older.
And another really important aspect of these insurance benefits is that employees' families are able to stay under their insurance, correct?
That is absolutely correct. So you can have a spouse and dependents on your health insurance benefits, and then you can designate your beneficiaries for your life insurance benefits.
Okay, awesome. And that is something that our office can help walk you through when you're looking at your benefits and trying to plan for your future. And something we really want to get into right now is understanding interim payments. So when you get to the approved process, what it looks like for how much you'll be receiving, when you'll actually be receiving that money, and all the things that you'll be dealing with OPM. So our office walks our clients through the application process from start to finish. So we work on building an application. We get all the proper medical evidence together. We submit those applications and we deal with the federal agencies, and we also work with OPM as they start that adjudication process. So, Anna, once a client is approved for federal disability benefits, can you talk about when those benefits start to come in?
Yeah, absolutely. So upon approval for disability retirement, you go into what OPM calls interim status. And all this means is that they're working out exactly what your benefit is going to look like. They're calculating everything down to the penny. But they don't want you to go without income for that entire time.
Right.
So they will begin paying you what they call interim payments. And these payments represent about 80% of what your annuity is going to be, just so you have some type of income while you're waiting for OPM to finalize the benefit. Interim payments are only subject to federal income tax. Nothing else comes out of interim payments.
So once the interim payments process is complete and they've actually finalized those benefits, OPM just will make up the difference in that first payment of what
You're
an employee
exactly
may have
right.
lost.
Yep. So if they underpaid you during the interim status, they will make up the difference for that. And it's important to keep in mind that this process can take about 5 months, and that can be longer or shorter depending on the OPM's backlog. But what we've been seeing recently is right around the 5-month mark.
Okay, and something else that federal employees may be eligible for is back pay. So Anna, can you talk about what back pay is and at what point in this finalization process that back pay, comes in for
Sure.
an employee?
Yep. So back pay is going to be a lump sum payment that is paid once you've been approved. And that pay is for time that you were not receiving any pay from your agency or workers' compensation. Back pay is going to be dated to your last date in pay status. So any income you receive from your agency or wage loss payments from workers' compensation count as pay in this situation.
Right, and this is something that federal agencies and OPM work together on?
Yes, that's exactly right. So your employing agency will provide OPM with your last date of pay, and from there, OPM will determine how much back pay you're going to be owed.
Okay, great. And something that we really want our clients to be aware of is that when you are in an extended leave of absence from your agency and you have not been receiving any kind of income, is to verify with your agency at any point if they ask you to come in for a meeting, whatever it may be, that you will not be put on a paid status, as that can reset your last date in pay. So if you've been off work for 4 months and your agency asks you to come in for a meeting, and they put you on the clock, you will lose those 4 months of back pay.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's really important to know this information. We've seen a lot of people who have been put in an unfortunate circumstance because they lose months and months of back pay because they didn't realize that they were going essentially on the rolls with the agency again.
Exactly. And Anna, there's no way to get that lost money back, correct?
That's correct. Once your agency has paid you, your last date of pay is automatically reset. It's an automated issue, and they will report that date to the OPM, and there's very little to nothing that can be done to change it.
Perfect. Thank you, Anna. And there are a lot of things that back pay can be beneficial for. Can you give just a couple highlights of what we typically see federal employees use this money for?
Yeah, definitely. So the biggest thing that we see is just financial assistance in general. Many of our clients have been out of work for a long time, and so
Right.
they've really been struggling to keep up with their finances. So this back pay can be a lifeline for them to help them get caught up on different things that they may be behind on. Bill payments that they've accrued, either medical bills or credit card bills that they've racked up while they've been waiting for this decision. So back pay can be really, really critical for a lot of our clients.
Perfect. And this is one lump sum payment that comes in the first month of the finalized benefit that they receive.
That's exactly correct.
Also, something that we want our clients just to be aware of is that there is such a thing as overpayment. This typically comes from OPM overpaying you for benefits that were not offset correctly. It can also happen with workers' compensation benefits or just issues with dates provided from the agency to OPM. Anna, can you give us a little bit more information on overpayments?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the most common times we see an overpayment situation is with a Social Security disability benefit that hasn't been offset properly, just like you said. And it is really important to be aware that you, as the annuitant, you are the one who is responsible for paying back this overpayment. The OPM and Social Security and workers' compensation, whoever the overpayment is with, they are not willing to work with people on overpayment. So
Right.
if you've been overpaid, it's going to be your responsibility to pay it back, which is why we really recommend that our clients put aside a portion of their back pay, or if you feel like your annuity is too high, to look into it, because there's a good chance that that might actually be the case, and you don't want to be put in a situation where you owe thousands of dollars back to the federal government.
Right, because also sometimes it can take them several months to figure out that error, correct?
That's correct. And we've seen it time and time again that somebody did not know that they were being overpaid for months on end, and then one day they got a bill for thousands of dollars that they're just expected to pay back.
And this is why you need to make sure that OPM is aware and up to date on all the information of the benefits that you're currently receiving. So when they're finalizing those benefits, that they have all the correct information and can hopefully prevent any kind of overpayment.
That's exactly right.
And there are multiple things that come into play when you are creating a strong financial plan for the future. Anna, can you just kind of touch on these points?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are a lot of things outside of your annuity payment that you want to consider as you're coming up with this financial plan. First and foremost, your thrift savings plan is another aspect of your retirement plan. So it's really important to learn what you can do with your TSP upon retirement. And also, it's really beneficial to probably look into some private sector financial products. What are the best options for you? Everybody's different and unique, so looking into these private sector products can be a really big help.
Right.
Social Security benefits are really important here. You can contact Social Security to get a breakdown of what your payments will look like depending on when you elect to start receiving those. So that's something that you should look into and share with a financial planner. And then managing your back pay is really important. Again, with the overpayments, you want to make sure that in the event that there's an overpayment you don't know about, you're covered on being able to pay that back. And leveraging that back pay to the best of your ability after going through the disability retirement process.
And typically, we really recommend speaking with an experienced financial advisor when you're kind of trying to piece together all the different benefits that you may be receiving and the benefits that may be coming into play later and how those can offset or benefit one another.
Yep, that is really great advice, Ashley. We really, really highly encourage you to talk with an experienced advisor, as there's so many moving parts to not only this benefit, but other benefits that you're entitled to down the road.
Thank you so much, Anna. So just to kind of summarize what all we've talked about today, for federal disability retirement benefits, those do come through OPM, through the federal government. They pay out 60% of your high 3 salary the first year and 40% every year after. You do start to receive interim payments following approval while OPM is finalizing those benefits. And upon finalization, OPM will pay you out one lump sum of back pay, whatever you may be entitled to, based on your last date of income with your agency or workers' compensation benefits. We talked about overpayment and the things that you need to be looking out for in regard to benefit offsets and things like that. And we also touched on financial planning and all of the ways that you can prepare for your future and all the benefits that you may be entitled to.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Thank you so much, Ashley. I think we went over a lot of really good information. And again, I want to stress that there's so many pieces to this that speaking with a financial advisor is going to be in your best interest for sure.
Absolutely, Anna. And we will be here for another couple minutes on this chat. So please feel free to ask any additional questions that you may have. Also, please call. We can set up a free consultation if you think that you may be eligible for federal disability retirement benefits. Thank you, Anna, so much for joining us, and thank you for all of this beneficial information that you went over with us today.
Oh, thank you, Ashley. It's been a pleasure to be able to share this information with federal employees who might need some guidance.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And back to you, Nick.
All right. Thanks, guys. You guys did a great job today. I think that explained all of that information very clearly and concisely. I mean, these are, very nuanced pieces of these benefits, and we put these on so that you can be aware of them and know what your options are and what's going to come in the future as you're applying for these. So hopefully you can see that how these pieces, the back pay and interim payments play into federal disability retirement and what you can expect with those. Maybe this spurred a lot of questions in your mind, so we're going to leave the chat open here for about 10 more minutes. Please ask your questions there, and we'll get to them as quickly as we can. If we can't, give our office a call and schedule a free consultation. We'd love to talk to you more about your specific situation and help you see what your future could look like on disability retirement. We have a YouTube channel on top of all this that's full of resources just like this, webinars, FAQs, all kinds of stuff to help just get you more educated on your benefits. And our website, too, is full of articles and videos just like this. So take some time, check those out, get your questions answered, or maybe that'll just drum up some more questions in your mind that we could walk through with you in a consultation. So with all that being said, we appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be here with us to learn a little bit more about this, and we hope it was helpful. And with that, we're going to wrap it up.